We've seen how to activate a route using the router link directive in the component template, but it's also possible to route with code. To route with code, we use the router service. We import the router from Angular 2/router. We define a dependency on the router service using a constructor parameter. The router instance is then injected into this component class. We use this router instance to activate a route with code. Here we define a method that we can call from the template based on a user action. The code uses the navigate method of the router service and passes in the same link parameter array we use when we bind the router link. In this example, we route to the products route and don't pass any parameters. Let's give this a try. We want the product detail component to navigate back to the product list component. We start by adding the router service to the imports for the Angular 2 router. We don't have to register this router service because we registered it in the root app component. Next, we define the router as a dependency by adding another constructor parameter. When this component class is constructed, we'll get an instance of both the route param service and the router service. Now we can build a method that navigates with code. I called this method onBack. It doesn't return anything, so we set its return type to void. In this method, we use the this._router instance and call the navigate method. We pass it a link parameters array. In this example, we want to navigate back to the product list component, so we don't need any parameters. We just define the route name, which is products. Now let's hook up the back button that calls this onBack method. In the product detail template, we'll add a button. We again use the Twitter Bootstrap style classes to give the button some style. We use event binding here to bind the click event of the button to the onBack method we defined in the class. Now let's check it out in the browser. Click on the menu option to display the product list. Then click on a product. The product detail page is displayed. We click our back button, and we are back on the product list page. Let's try another one. We see the detail page. Now we're back on the product list page. Our code-based navigation is working. So routing with code involves importing the router and using its navigate method to activate the route. Now that we've implemented routing, we can see that it is rather intricate, requiring code in multiple files, and strings, such as parameter names, that must match across those files. So let's finish up this module with some checklists that can come in handy to help ensure all of the bits of routing are in place and match appropriately.